no is a complete sentence. You're gonna start valuing yourself. You're not gonna let people walk over you, step on you, use you like that, and you're gonna step into your true power. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to stop being a people pleaser. If you think you're a people pleaser or you find yourself doing any of these and you really need to stop because it's super bad for you, if anything, you're only harming yourself. You might be like, oh, this is really difficult for me to stop or whatever. It's honestly really easy to stop doing certain things as long as you start to feel really disgusted when you do something like that. At least this personally really helped me, is when I noticed this, I'd be like, yo, like that's so gross. But for real, anytime you notice yourself doing anything like that, just be like, this is so gross, or like ew, or whatever. Because I think breaking any bad habit, you just have to make it seem so repulsive and you have absolutely no desire to it. So the whole reason we have habits or we do certain things, it's because we have some sort of desire for it. But if it's really repulsive or gross or anything, we're not going to want to do it. But for real, people pleasing is very unattractive and you'll attract the wrong type of people too. So it's just something you do not want to be doing. Just dive into it. So before I actually get into how to stop being a people pleaser or the steps that you can take, the first thing is what exactly is a people pleaser, or what describes it. But the definition is someone who wants to please others at their own expense. I'm being very broad, it doesn't have to be exactly like this, but usually these people lack independence, they don't have security with themselves, which makes them very easy to manipulate and therefore be used. Because essentially people pleasers, they just want to feel like they're needed, they want that sort of attention, and because of that they're not individuals, or they don't act on independence because they're expecting that reaction or they want that from someone else. Someone who is more inferior, I mean, even the way they speak and how they act, they're putting themselves down and they're putting you on a pedestal. And first of all, you never want to put anyone on a pedestal ever, not even yourself. Like, no one should be put on a pedestal. But it could also be like irrational fears, or they just have fear of rejection in general, and because of that they want to be liked by everyone. Okay, so how silly does that sound? I mean, I don't want to say it sounds super silly because it's pretty reasonable for humans to be, you know, we want to be liked by everyone, but you have to rationally think about that. You can never be liked by anyone. Like, it's so unrealistic. And then also think about it, if everyone likes you, you're doing something wrong. Like, they don't like you, you're honestly on the right path. Like, I personally think it's a lot better to have people not liking you than people who like you. This is just weird. I don't know, I don't want to say this is the right thing to do, but people don't like to see others do better. They don't like to see you winning, or they don't like to see you doing better than how they are, which I think is personally just really pathetic. I think you're insecure if you're like that. Like, don't be like that, it's really lame. But also, if any of this resonates with you, don't feel offended. I'm not in any way like degrading you or anything. I hope if anything this just helps you get motivated to change your behaviors, so you move away from people pleasing. If anything, I had hell experience with that. I think when I tell people, they don't believe me, but that's because I wasn't ever a people pleaser with friends, with like family and stuff like that. Now I'm going to be moving on to things you should stop doing and actual steps you can take to help you with this. So the first one is stop saying sorry. I feel like if you think of a people pleaser, I mean, yeah, obviously you think of someone who's very nice, whatever, but it's also someone who's constantly saying sorry. Like, first of all, just think about that. That's just so lame. Okay, remember how I said to break a bad habit, you have to view it in a very, I don't want to say like a gross way, but it's just something that's undesirable and repulsive. Like, stop saying, oh, I'm so sorry, like, I'm so sorry I was late, whatever. Say, oh, thanks for your patience, like, thanks for waiting for me. Do you see how different that was? It sounds so harsh. I don't mean it like that. I'm not saying it's like pathetic to say like I'm sorry like a billion times, but it's just a lot more respectable if someone's like, oh yeah, no, thank you for waiting for me, or thank you for whatever. Because then I'll view you in a different way. I won't view you as someone I can just step on. I'll view you as your own individual. But it has to do with being assertive. Like, I think that really helps to lean away from people pleasing, because people who are assertive, they cannot be taken advantage of like that. But now moving on, how to be assertive, because I can't just throw like, oh yeah, be assertive, and not tell you how to do that, because if you don't know how to be assertive, don't worry, like, I'll tell you. Basically, people pleasers, they don't really have that self-confidence or that trust in themselves. But that doesn't matter. Like, even if you don't feel like you're that person, whatever, you have to start acting like that enough. I mean, I've mentioned this in, like, I swear, so many of my videos, but when you act like it, you'll just become it, trust me. And then also, if you're faking it, like, no one's gonna know. But also that whole like building that confidence, like, trust me, from my own experience, like, nothing can knock me down now. Like, literally no one can say anything, because I'm just that secure with myself and have such a strong foundation. I think I said this already, but people pleasers, they lack a sense of independence, and that's very important, at least with your sense of self, and also like trusting yourself, because if you don't trust yourself, that's just not okay, and that's just another reason for people to step all over you and walk all over you and just use you like that. But let me get into more specifics. First of all, I think using I statements is very powerful. Instead of just having like a random startup, or you're using a bunch of like whatever words to start your sentence, where it's just like, oh, I'm whatever. So when you use I statements, it's a very clear and specific delivery, and I think communication is so important when it comes to assertiveness. And then even now, anytime you communicate this, I struggled with for so long, but I just forced myself, and now it's super fun. I love holding eye contact with people, but holding eye contact is so it's just like a power move. I'm not saying like people pleasers are shy people. I'm not saying any of that. When you hold eye contact, it's very assertive and you're like, I guess asserting dominance. Okay, that sounds so silly. I would just try this with anyone. I think it's so fun to try this, especially on guys. Just get so like, I don't want to say shy, like I'll just be like dead ass like, I have like the worst RBF, like just staring them down and they'll look away. Do you know how powerful that is? It's so fun. Like you guys have to try it. It's gonna be pretty scary and like uncomfortable at first because obviously I've never done something like that before, but trust me, it's so much fun. Also right now, you can't tell I'm wearing such a baggy top. I think that's why, but I'm standing up straight, and even my delivery when I'm talking to you guys, oh, I like to use my hands. This has nothing to do with that. I just like to use my hands. But like I said, you're holding eye contact, but you don't want to be slouching and you don't want to be in a position where you look inferior to the person you're talking to. But if you do that, then the person you're talking to or whatever person who's trying to manipulate you will feel like they have that power over you, and you don't want to give that power to anyone. So now moving on to this section, which is stop being guilty. Like, don't feel bad. I think oftentimes like people pleasers, they just feel so bad, and that's why they're so easy to use. They're so easy to manipulate because you'll feel bad. The sense of guilt is what's holding them back. Seriously, you need to let go of all this guilt because you come first. Like, your health, your well-being comes first. Like, it's not fair that you're putting all this energy, all this whatever effort, and you're just draining yourself. Trust me, do not feel bad because you're not hurting anyone. Like, if you stop these habits, or if you're not doing like all of this for whoever, what I personally think, I don't know if this is super accurate, but just my opinion. Everything I say is my opinion, so you just take everything with a grain of salt. But I think people pleasers, first of all, they don't want rejection. They want everyone to like them, but they want this sort of reaction. Okay, being kind is one thing, but being nice is another thing. And I feel like people pleaser, they're often characterized as someone who's very nice, and there's nothing wrong with being nice, but there is when you want a reaction, when you want people to like you, or when you want something in return. I think everyone should be kind, obviously, always. I think the world, we need more kindness. Being kind without expecting anything in return. Like, I'll be holding a door, I'll be doing whatever, I'm not expecting anything. That's just a kind gesture. My biggest thing to say for stop feeling guilty is unlearn anything, any toxic behaviors, anything like that. And like, I don't know how much more to say this, just don't feel bad. And I think something that ties into not feeling bad is establishing healthy boundaries. Boundaries are so important. Like, ask yourself right now, do you even know what boundaries are? Okay, that might sound like such a stupid question, but I literally didn't even know what boundaries were till like, friend was like, said it in such a nice and genuine way, you should establish boundaries with those people. And I was like, what the heck, that's possible? Yes, it is. And you should have boundaries with everyone. Boundaries are literally just as important as like brushing your teeth. Okay, that sounds so crazy, but like, I mean it. Like, it's so important because you're protecting yourself, your energy, and your own well-being. And then boundaries, it kind of goes with being assertive, because when you establish your boundaries, you have to be very like, you know what I mean? Like, you're standing on business, and you establish boundaries through communication. And I'm gonna give 2 examples. Let's say you have relationships with whoever. Literally, okay, when I'm talking about relationships, I mean like anything. Like, if you're trying to establish boundaries with people you already have a relationship with, I actually found this very difficult because they're used to a certain version of you, and if you start to implement whatever, it's very difficult. I'll use an example. This literally happened last night where someone, they crossed a boundary and I had to repeat myself. I'm very lenient about that because they've known me for like so many years a certain way versus like now, so I just repeat myself. It is annoying, but it's also fine because some people, they get it. Like, it's 2 people, one of them just immediately got it and never steps over my boundaries. The other person, I don't know if it's they forget or they just don't care as much. Okay, that sounds mean. I don't mean it like that. I just remind them. And then even this morning, she was actually like, oh, like, by the way, I'm so sorry, like, I deadass thought you were asleep or something. Like, you have to be very strict with your boundaries and don't feel bad. Like, boundaries are for you. Like I said, it's like you're brushing your teeth, okay? Gum care, keeping your gums healthy. That reminds me, I used to want a lip tat. Oh my god, I swear everyone did at one point. Don't tell me I'm crazy. Like, I'll give you another scenario. I honestly think when you stop being a people pleaser, it's kind of best to form new friends. Now, I'm not saying go dump all your friends, drop your friends, whatever. I'm saying use your best judgment, okay? Like, right now, ask yourself, is this really a friendship? Like, or is it just one-sided? Are you just being completely used? Like, they're constantly using you and you're not getting anything back. Like, you guys know what a real friendship is. Like, I don't have to be telling you. And deep down, you know if it's serving you or if it's not. So you use your best judgment. Either you drop or you don't. You know what's best for you. I'm not here to tell you anything. I'm just telling you, trust yourself. Okay, so I waited like, let me see. Okay, now I know exactly at 7 the machine starts going off for like 15 minutes. I'm not gonna do what I did last time where I just kept filming. I just took like a drawing break. Now I'm gonna be moving on to the last part, which is self-respect and self-love. I don't really feel like I can talk about people pleasing for so much just because I don't have that much experience. I've seen my friends who have been like this, and it just makes me so sad. I mean, like I said, I've had more experience with family, not with friends at least. I can definitely talk about like standing up for yourself. Like, I can talk about that for like ages. That's not what the video is about. It kind of is. But this part is so crucial, because if you truly respect yourself, you won't allow yourself to be walked on and stepped on or anything like that. And you also wouldn't put anyone before you. And I don't mean this in a selfish way. Like, I'm wearing such a wrong shirt. I'm not talking about that. Putting yourself first isn't selfish at all. Like, how can you give to others? How can you be there for others if you're not for yourself? My water is not full. Let's say I go to you or whatever, and this is how much water I have. Oops, all my water is gone. You know, what do I have for myself? But if I'm full, like, I can, please, you guys, you know that saying, like, I don't have to demonstrate. Let me be more specific at least, because obviously I can talk about like, oh, self-love, this, self-love, whatever. But give yourself the attention that you crave from other people, and also all that time and effort that you put to other people, give that to yourself, because you deserve that, okay? I mean, I can say like spend time with yourself, but maybe you don't know how to spend time with yourself. I mean, you can do what I'm doing, sit outside and start drawing. No, I'm joking, not everyone likes to draw. But I think music is a really good example, because that's like the universal language. Literally just play some good tunes. Okay, it has to be like uplifting, okay, like good music. Start listening to that and just start dancing, start singing. Guys, I can't sing, okay? Like, I sound horrendous, but I do that and it's so fun. I can't dance either. You can look silly, like, it doesn't matter. But also doing this also makes you feel like that enough. Like when you listen to like upbeat, like hype music. I mean, I always suggest nature because I feel like it's super calming and peaceful, and you can just listen to the birds, especially now that it's spring. Literally just dance in the car, in your room, whenever. And also this kind of goes to self-respect, but never break promises to yourself, especially boundaries. Be very strict with your boundaries because you don't want to break this. Okay, the thing is, you don't break promises to other people, so why would you break promises to yourself? And obviously all of this takes time, but the fact that you're just trying and you're showing up for yourself, that shows so much. That shows that you already care so much about yourself. I've talked a lot about this portion in my other videos, so I don't want to repeat myself. Obviously you can check them out if you want anymore, but you know what you like, so just do that. Okay, so I hope you guys liked this video. It was super short, but that's just because it doesn't take so long to explain. But honestly, this whole video, I actually got inspired by someone last week. She was telling me how she couldn't stand up for herself, or she honestly can never stand up for herself, and it makes me feel really sad. I don't like seeing people getting stepped on, or those who cannot stand up for themselves. But seriously, like, start stepping into your true power and don't let people disrespect you and just use you like that ever. I'm not saying like go fight people. No, bro, you don't have to do that. The best thing you can do in any situation is no reaction is the best reaction. Trust me, because anytime anyone does anything, they're looking for a reaction out of you. So literally just act unfazed. Even if you are phased, act unfazed. Anyways, I hope this was helpful. This was super short and quick to the point, at least. I hope it was. I think I already said this, but even if you do feel uncomfortable saying something or doing something, sometimes there are situations where you feel like more scared or whatever, still act like you're not scared. I do this a lot actually. Even if I don't feel super comfortable or I am a bit scared, I'll still be like, nah, like I'm good. And I'll just be like, you know, straight up like that, even if inside I'm like, oh my gosh, that was so out of character for me, like I'm not like that. Sometimes you have to be like that and it's fine, like no one's gonna know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and it's May. Happy May, have a beautiful day, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Okay, bye guys.